Welcome to the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Kramer. I have two special guests with me today. We are going to talk about another business journey, an inspiring one. I know this is going to be a great episode. I want to welcome you both to the show.
We are glad to be here, right,
Yes,
buddy?
yes, Dad. Thanks so much. I have it on your podcast. I am really excited.
Well, I'm excited that you guys are here. You have an inspiring story. So we have John and Mark with us of John's Crazy Socks, and I disclosed to them that I am a Crazy Sock fan. I wear my Christmas socks all year round.
This
It's
is a
my
good way to
it's my
be.
little bit of
Yeah.
happy. So tell us how this journey all began for you.
Well, want to tell them the whole story?
Yes.
So our story starts back in the fall of 2016 in a small log cabin in the woods.
No.
No, it starts here on suburban Long Island in a town called Huntington. And where were you?
I was at Hunter High School. I'm gonna be my last year at school.
So, John, we know we're talking to entrepreneurs and business owners out there, and John is a natural entrepreneur. But one of the aspects of John's life is you have Down syndrome.
Yes, I am.
So this was going to affect a lot of things. He's looking for, trying to figure out what comes next. What were you looking at?
I like a job, program, and school. I can't find create option I don't like.
Couldn't find anything he liked. This is an unfortunate reality. Only 1 in 5 people with a disability is employed in this country. But Alicia, I know you love talking about mindset. John has this positive mindset, which makes you a natural entrepreneur.
Yes.
He didn't see this as a problem. He saw it as an opportunity. So if you couldn't find a job, what do you say?
I said, I'll create one, I want to make one. I told my partner I want to get big with him. A nice father and son been together.
Which is pretty cool. I got 3 sons.
Yes,
This is one I can work with.
yes.
So there we are. All right, we'll go into business together. This sounds good. I've run many businesses, and um, John, you had a head full of ideas.
I did.
What was one of your ideas?
While they made a food truck, I saw maybe called Chef, was an actor named John Farrell, a neat movie about father and son bottling a food truck.
Well, everybody out there loves eating at a food truck. I mean, and we're thinking, what could we make? Where would we put it? Um, but we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
Yeah, we can't cook. So it wasn't going to be a food truck. But then, right before the U.S. Thanksgiving, John had his eureka moment.
I did. I was selling crazy socks. Wild socks. It's fun, it's colorful, it's creative. It's always let me be me. I want crazy socks my whole life.
We used to drive around looking for him. And John would plan the same way you wear your Christmas socks all year round. He would plan a week ahead of time what socks he was going to wear. So we figured this. If John loved those socks that much, surely other people would too. And we could find those people. So we eschewed the traditional business plan. I've done plenty of those and read plenty, evaluated plenty of those. We went the lean startup route. You already had the name.
Yeah, I got a name. I told a website, couple ideas.
He he had the idea would sell online. So we went the lean startup route. We built a simple website out on the Shopify platform. We got a little bit of inventory.
Yes.
The only marketing we did was to set up a Facebook page, and I would take out my cell phone and we made video. And who do you think was in those videos?
I am. I talk about socks. Sock, 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 bus sock.
And we noticed people started sharing those videos. And actually, we had our eighth anniversary yesterday. Because what day did we open?
You've been at December 9th, 2016.
And we didn't know what to expect. But that
Right.
first day, we got what felt like a flood of orders. We got 42 orders, and most of them were local, which made sense, right? You were in Huntington High School, we lived in Huntington. So, how did we deliver those first orders?
Our home delivery, we get red boxes, and we put in dinner and candy.
Right? Put the socks in a box. He added a thank you note. We got bags of Hershey's Kisses, poured them in the box, loaded up the car, drove around, and you knocked on doors delivering socks.
Yeah, they did.
And how'd the customers respond?
Our customers love the socks. Customers love me.
They love you, huh?
Well, it
Yes.
doesn't hurt that you gave them candy too,
Yeah.
right?
They're taking pictures and sharing on social media. They were funny moments, right? We live in New York and we're out in Long Island delivering these, and in December, it gets dark early and it gets cold. We'd pull up in front of the house and John would hop out. He'd go to the front door. I'd watch him go inside, and I'd be sitting in the car getting cold. And I'm wondering what's going on. Meanwhile, he's inside drinking hot chocolate, telling stories, taking pictures, having a grand old time. But at the end of that month, and we were testing the idea, by the end of that month, really 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, we had shipped 452 orders, and we knew we had something. We didn't know how big it would grow. We didn't know how fast it would grow. But we started just two of us. We had 37 different types of socks. 8 years later, we have built a slightly different type of business model. It's a social enterprise. We are for profit, but we also have a decided social mission. And what's our mission?
Experience happiness.
And those 37 different socks, how many do we have today?
Today we have a 4,000 different kinds of socks.
Which means John here owns the world's largest sock store. We're not outselling Walmart and Target, at least not yet, but we've now shipped over 475,000 orders to 89 different countries, been able to create 34 jobs. 22 of those are
Yes.
held by people with different abilities. John has now donated $800,000 to our charity partners. And you like to say,
Check get started.
just getting started.
Now, I want to highlight something that I see here. Beautiful souls, you want to deliver happiness. There's that mindset piece, like you mentioned. I love the mindset stuff. How many people out there are stuck in what is referred to as excusitis? Excusitis, the failure disease. And we all have so many seemingly justifiable reasons for holding ourselves back. And what I love about this story is you didn't let any of the excuses that you could have used stop you. You followed your heart and you went for it. And you made this incredible positive difference because of it, where it doesn't just improve your lives, you're touching so many other people. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, you often hear, oh, you can divide people into different groups. In some ways, you can. There's one large group. They're going to tell you all the reasons why you can't do something, or all the reasons it won't work, all the reasons it's too hard. And then the other group, okay, let's roll up our sleeves and let's figure out how we're going to get this done. Um, I say John's a natural entrepreneur
Yeah.
because That's his approach. And I think that's our approach of, okay, we have to go figure this out. How are we going to do this? Um, and you have all of us, everyone out there listening, you have a vast store of knowledge and wisdom. You may not even recognize it because we learn at everything we do. So here's one example. I had never worked in retail before, had never run a warehouse before. I spent most of my career in the healthcare field. Well, it turns out processing claims sets you up quite well to process orders that come in through e-commerce. It's kind of the same process. Um, so I could have walked around saying, well, I don't know how to do this. We haven't done it. Or I could say, oh, how do you figure this out? Um, or I'll give you another example. It comes from my partner.
Yeah.
So we started in December of 2016, and then we hit January, and we're now going to build the business. And we learned firsthand, nobody buys anything in January because they spent all their money at the holidays. And we're trying to figure out what can we do to drive up business. Well, that's when we realized that people wear crazy socks to celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. When's World Down Syndrome Day?
Dinosaur Day is on March 21st.
March 21st. Now, you would have thought we knew that ahead of time, but we're not that smart. And when we had first started, we were only selling other people's socks. So we go looking for a pair of Down syndrome themed socks that we could sell. Nobody in this entire world made one. And I'm looking and searching, and that's when my partner looks at me and you
Yeah.
said, what?
I said I want to create one. I want to make one.
I said, we'll make our own.
Yeah.
So John designed the world's first Down syndrome awareness socks. We found somebody to manufacture it for us. And we called up the National Down Syndrome Society and said, look, we're going to sell these socks. We're going to donate money to you from every pair we sell. And they said,
I'll call you.
who are you? But today, John is on the board of the National Down Syndrome Society.
All right, so here you are making waves, doing a lot of good things in the world. You've obviously created something to be very proud of. I'm assuming that wasn't your only setback along the way. And certainly it wasn't a setback, it was an opportunity. So, are you willing to share with us maybe a little bit more of the journey? So, for some people, when we're listening to a success story, that's all we see. We see the success. And there's always more to the story.
Yes, so every year at our to celebrate our anniversary, we have an open house party, an anniversary party. We throw open our warehouse. We did it last Saturday. We had a couple of several hundred people come. It's a great time. But a customer came up and was talking to me and he said, well, getting started, that was the hard part. But once that happened, then it's on cruise control. And I looked at him and I said, you've obviously never run a business because it's not a question of will things go wrong. It's only when and how bad will it be. And some of the things were comical. So we told you about just getting started. Well, what time were we going to open on that Friday?
We'll open at 10 o'clock morning, except our website crashed. This is my dad fault.
Right. Our website crashed because our webmaster, who was me at the time, screwed something up in the code.
Oh my God.
So we opened up at 3 in the afternoon. And the next day, I told you we didn't have much inventory. We didn't know what what we would be selling. We were running out of socks. We were running out of inventory. So where do you get socks on a Saturday night? We drove to every Kmart in Suffolk County and bought all the socks we could just so we would have something to sell. We told you we put candy in every package. We put Hershey's Kisses. Everybody loved the Hershey's Kisses. But what happened?
Oh, what's that question?
Well, not the website. What happened with
Oh,
the candy?
I'm sorry. Uh, we put up
We got the email from the
an
woman in
email from
Florida
Florida.
saying you can't be sending chocolate in the warm weather to Florida. So then we went to Skittles and now we put lollipops in. But they're also real serious things. We were bootstrapping. Our first 2 years, we grew dramatically. Our third year, we kind of came down to earth. Um, but I had overhired. I had hired for the higher level, and now we're coming down. And I made, I think, a common mistake that some of you have made out there. We have it in common. I wanted to save as many jobs as I could. In reality, would have been better off cutting deeper and cutting fast because nobody was happy. We went looking for money. And before all sorts of people would love to invest. Can we get in on this? We went looking for the money. And all of a sudden, people had deep pockets and short arms. Um, and the people that were willing to put money up, what they wanted to do was shut us down, just buy the brand, which I knew would be short term, wouldn't last. Well, by the end of that year, I thought we'd come back at Christmas, the holiday season, but we had no money for inventory. And by the end of that year, we were, for all intents and purposes, bankrupt. I met with a bankruptcy law firm that said, we'll take you into bankruptcy. Not sure if it'll be Chapter 7 or Chapter 11. All you have to do is give us $25,000 up front. And I looked at him and I said, if I had $25,000, I wouldn't be talking to you. And after a year, as I would tell John, of kissing a lot of toads,
Yeah.
we found our prince. We found a strategic partner, third generation family business that manufactures socks for department stores. And that gave us financial stability and manufacturing capability that we needed and let us go forward. But we signed that deal late February of 2020. You may have heard there was a pandemic in 2020. So, that's a flavor of, do things go wrong? Do you run into problems? Absolutely. Over that strategic partner, it's mainly a father-son team. We work, they're good people. And we have shared values, but it turns out we operate in a very different way. And so that's evolved over time, and we've had our conflicts. But this is all part of leading a business.
I really appreciate you sharing the highs and the lows. One of the things that I've found particularly disempowering on my own entrepreneurial journey is the surface level stuff that we see. We get the highlight reel and we get the statistics, and so many people are happy to share the wins because it's great for marketing, but there's all this other stuff in between. And so when someone is embarking on this journey and they hit the low, it's very easy to internalize that as, I'm out of the game. There's something wrong with me. I can't make this happen. And my sincere desire for all the work that I do with this podcast and my other podcasts that I do is to say, hey, we all have the ups and the downs. You just got to find within yourself that spark that keeps you going when it gets a little bit dark, because there's so much good that can be on the other side of that.
You, yes. And it's hard to see ourselves. And sometimes we need distance to fully appreciate a situation. Um, it's not, you have to think it's not failure. That's the tuition you pay to learn. You don't get a failing grade. It's not like school, we've hit the end of the quarter. It's, I haven't found the success yet. I'll give you a couple of examples. So I've run successful businesses, but in 1994, I'm old, so I've been around. I started a company called New Gutenberg Software, and we put out Baseball for Windows 94. It was aimed at hardcore baseball fans and fantasy baseball fans. We got rave reviews, and we lost every penny we had. People are not calling me up to do interviews about New Gutenberg software. But if I didn't do that, we wouldn't be doing this. Or here's one as kind of a simpler or an earlier one. My senior year of college, I organized something at the school, the college I went to. I went to a place called Holy Cross up in Massachusetts. I'd gotten the idea from I spent my junior year at Trinity College in Dublin. No original ideas. You make like Shakespeare and Bob Dylan and steal everything you can, then make it your own. So I set up something called the Lunchbox Theater, and we put on concerts and plays and poetry readings, and it was great fun. And I ran around organizing all this, and then I tapped a junior and I said, okay, you take over the next year. And he did for a little bit, and then it petered out. And that was the end of it. Why? Because there was no infrastructure, there was no organization. It was one person running around as a hero. The good thing that came out of it, that junior who took over was a guy named Bartlett Shear, who's now won multiple Tonys as a director on Broadway, and became the theater director at Lincoln Center. In graduate school, I was in a 2-year program, and we set up a summer intern fund that would give grants to people working summer jobs that didn't pay, but were worthwhile jobs. This time I had learned, and I had a whole bunch of first year people, and we put together an infrastructure and an organization. And I get a little thrill every year when I get a phone call from the school soliciting a donation for the summer intern fund, and it's going on 40 years later. It's only because I learned from that first error. And you're fortunate if you get another opportunity, but you have to keep learning.
That is a powerful message right there. This is probably the best time for me to ask how our listeners can buy some crazy socks.
Yeah, you can go at John's crazysocks.com.
John's
That's right.
crazysocks.com,
And
right?
check out our website. We have TikTok, we have Twitter, Facebook, um,
You're all over the
all,
place.
all, all over the place.
Or just look for John's Crazy Socks. Come and check out his TikTok. You like dancing on
And
that?
yep. If you want, um, I hold an online dance party every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I on Zoom.
An
I
online
I
dance party,
I
right?
like fun.
What's more fun than that? Yes. I mean, here's the package, right? You get great socks, socks that will make you feel happy. And you enable us to hire people with different abilities. You support our giving back program. And most of all, you help us
Spread happiness.
spread happiness.
I love this. All right, and I'm going to throw something in there. So anybody who posts a picture and tags, either they tag me on social media or they post a picture. I don't know. Can you post pictures in YouTube comments? I don't know if you can. Maybe they can link to it or something if they can. But if they post some pictures with your socks on, I will give them a scholarship to my academy, which is a $997 a year value.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
So
Oh,
I love
thank you so much.
socks and I love you guys and I love what you're doing. So I'm really encouraging everyone listening who also loves socks to share the love, right? Have some fun.
There's joy. You know, you like to say the socks let me be me.
Yeah,
You can wear
joy
your
to the world
Christmas
all
socks.
the
No, no, no,
time.
no, no. We want listeners. Don't be singing.
Oh.
So this has been fantastic. I want to thank you both for sharing your story, sharing from your heart, and making such a positive difference in this world.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And thank you to everyone listening. I want to see those socks. And until next time, we'll see you in the next episode.